It's a lot of body control. When you're standing up on the board, there's a lot of balance that goes into it. There's just so much coordination that I think goes into surfing, knowing how my body moves and works, and that helped me get comfortable with the soccer ball.
Left isolated in the middle of the Pacific Ocean with limited resources, access, and opportunity to play the beautiful game, Hawaii is in many ways a microcosm of the problems many face on the mainland.
Hawaii is a very expensive place to live. It's what we call the price you pay for paradise.
The smallest landmass of all 50 states, in the culture here, soccer has to fight against sports with much deeper roots, like American football and board sports.
Surfing, American football, then basketball, baseball, volleyball, paddling, then soccer probably, then, golf, or actually golf's pretty popular here too.
With the U.S. missing out on the World Cup and MLS clubs here for preseason's Pacific Rim Cup, I figured now was the perfect time to come to the last place you'd think for talent. And maybe just for that reason, exactly where we should all look.
The hardest thing for the kids is they don't get to physically see that high level of soccer. They don't get to see it every weekend. They also don't have that same type of level of competition that they have on the mainland or the United States.
There's just something about us. There's like that competitiveness, that will to win, the hate to lose. I think coaches look for that, and that might be a deciding factor in big games.
It's a challenge because you live so far away and we need to take a plane over to see them. But every once in a while there's a very special player that is in a very small town on a very small island, and if you're doing your due diligence, you're going to make every effort to find them.
One of my proudest moments as a soccer player, human being, or whatever, was being in Germany at the World Cup, and it was standing there against Italy on the sidelines singing the national anthem before the game, and I thought, wow, came from a small little island in the middle of the Pacific to the world's biggest game. What an incredible journey.
You grew up on the beach, just surfing.
I grew up on the beach. I mean, literally, I surfed here more than I played soccer. Soccer was just one of those things that, the more I played it, the more I liked it.
MVP for the 2006 MLS Cup, forward Brian Ching.
When I think about that, and then I think about how far I went in soccer, it makes me proud that I've achieved that, not coming from a soccer background.
Wow, wait, can we talk about these haircuts?
Oh,
Look at this, folks. Sorry, ladies, he's taken. Family man now. This was in his Playboy days. Wait, so you were Brian's first coach. What was it like coaching him?
The parents in soccer, they didn't know what soccer was back then. Nobody knew how to play. I didn't even know how to play it. I had to read the book, before practices and set up the practices because I didn't know how. And I had an index card that I would go by to make sure that I would keep practice going.
Let's go back to the high school level.
Okay.
You coached at Kamehameha High School. Mm-hmm. Was that the time, was Brian Ching there at the time?
He was there at the time. He's a little scrawnier than he is now, but he could still, he was absolutely lethal in the air, and you could tell that he was very special.
Bud is at the center of it all. A former baller herself, started Santa Clara on the mainland, but she's come back to take the helm of Hawaiian women's soccer. How do you find the best players, particularly from Hawaii?
There's a very finite number of players, even though there's 7,000 registered players playing in the Hawaii Youth Soccer Association and another 28,000 in AYSO. There's a lot of kids playing, but the competition is not at that top tier.
How does it work for kids in Hawaii who don't have the money to pay to be on one of the better clubs here?
We have to find kids who are going to be very resilient. So with the unique set of challenges we face due to our location, we have to kind of think outside the box. We have to liaise with the club coaches. They will call us and say, hey, there's a kid that you need to come and see, or this player is going to be on Oahu, so you should go out there and watch. So those have been really helpful ways for us to identify local talent. It becomes a real challenge to captivate a youth soccer player and then tell them they have to travel to 4 tournaments a year. you know? So how do you go to your mom and say, I know we have 3 other kids, but I need to take 4 $3,000 trips this year so I can get recruited for college, you know, and that's tough.
Yeah, that's really tough.
Where am I to go? Who am I to be?
To get a sense of the next wave of soccer people on the island, I decided to head over to Lanikai on the east side of the island to meet Max Anton of Paradise Soccer Club, a soccer store with a surf vibe. Max is at the forefront of the soccer movement here, sponsoring youth futsal teams and local pickups, and recently dropped a throwback jersey in honor of the late 70s little-known NASL squad, Team Hawaii.
We played 1 year, 1 season. Played against like Pele, George Best, Cosmos were in it, Sounders, big teams like that. So that was pretty much the last time we had like a real professional team. Hopefully one day Hawaii will have a professional team again. That's our big goal, is bring as much attention to Hawaii soccer as possible in hopes that one day MLS, whoever, USL, indoor leagues, somebody will want to make something out here one day.
Do you think that's possible?
I definitely think it's possible, and I hope it comes true, you know, in my lifetime. I hope I'll be able to see it. And I hope some of the kids that we help along the way, I hope they're playing, and I hope I get to see them on TV. Somebody like Bobby Wood, who has Hawaii connections, somebody like Brian, that was successful. I want to see more Hawaii kids in big leagues, basically.
Natasha Kai comes from a very small town, Kahuku, on the north shore of the island. If she were to drive here now, it would take her 1 hour and 15 minutes to get here. Zach Scott's from Maui. You know, we have a couple of kids from Maui in the national team for the girls U15. The beautiful part about the island and the state is that there are good players everywhere.
I think we're on our way. We're definitely progressing. We're getting more kids into the youth academies here at MLS, where we grew up playing pretty much the same teams, the same kids since we're like 12 to 18, you know?
Having social media in this digital age is a way of breaking down barriers for kids that don't often get seen in Hawaii. And Max is a kid I saw on Instagram and has used social media to connect with people beyond the island, including Seattle Sounders Jordan Morris. I have a surprise for you.
Okay.
Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Max, what's up, buddy? It's Jordan Morris here. Wanted to wish you all the best in the upcoming year. We hope to see you back out in Seattle soon. It was great meeting you a little while ago, and just wanted to wish you all the best. So, talk soon, buddy.
It's pretty cool.
Not bad, right? You guys really are friends.
Yeah, we both have type 1 diabetes, and it inspires me a lot to see that he has type 1 diabetes and he can do it. And so that makes me think I could do it. He gave me advice to just say, like, he just said, work hard, like, don't let diabetes stop you, and it's okay, like, you take care of it at the same time playing soccer.
The departure of the NFL's Pro Bowl has meant kids here no longer have access to pro sports in person. Until now. With the return of MLS preseason's Pacific Rim Cup, Columbus Crew SC and Vancouver Whitecaps filling that void.
Hawaii for preseason. How did you hustle this?
You know, been working on it for, 13 seasons.
Finally pays off.
Yeah. No, I think it was, some time with, spending some time with Brian Ching back in the days in Houston too, did put some influence on this, say, you know what, before you're done playing in the MLS, you must make it to Hawaii, so. But this is beautiful, yeah.
Have you seen any young, maybe mini Chings running around?
It's a small pool, but definitely, you can definitely spot more talent when you have a small pool. So.
What's up, guys?
Well, there you go. This is a small pool. There you go.
They're like, yeah, this is a big pool here.
That's my striker I was telling you about.
Okay. He's the one.
Yeah.
You can tell by the hair always.
The next string.
Why do you think the Sounders have put so much emphasis into trying to find the Hawaiian players, and how do you think that could help their development as well?
There's always been something with Hawaii and Seattle Sounders, like there's just something that's there. We just get each other, I guess. Brian Ching was one of the first, if not the first. Zach Scott was a longtime hero, awesome pro, and myself. Hawaii, we got good talent. We got good players. We just need to be seen in the world.
That's two with an opportunity here. Here's a long-range effort. Oh, what a spectacular strike. Solid performance by the youngster. Shannon Hippo, the Hawaiian native, just with a brief aloha.
You hear there's a kid from Hawaii who plays for S2, and he's from Hawaii. He's a homegrown player. And Seattle now, actually, their homegrown territory is Hawaii, so they're bringing players over. I think he's 19 years old, went over there. And
Perfect example of getting kids and finding them and getting them in the right environment. And hopefully I was, part of showing those kids that there's a way to get there to the highest level.
When you find an area that is producing a lot of athletes, the good football players, the good basketball players, it becomes a very interesting concept, like, hey, what if we can lure these great athletes to soccer? And this is something that's happening across the country, I think, when you talk about how the US is going to be competitive. So it's the same thing here, where you're like, we're the best athletes. Before, soccer was I think it kind of developed in the Honolulu area, and as it started to branch out and get into pockets or areas where there were heavy, Polynesian and Native Hawaiian communities, the level of athleticism went through the roof. So you'll see now, whereas before baseball was taking a lot of the good soccer players, they get involved at a very early age, and because of their athleticism, they're able to just pick things up so much more quickly than some of the other kids.
When you look at the history difficulties that we've had as a race, it shows that, hey, look, we can succeed even though in the past things have went against us. It just takes determination and fight and grit and resilience, and you can achieve things, and it's not easy, but it's a big part of who I am and what I identify with and what I want to be seen as.
Aloha, welcome. So we're at Kamehameha School's Kapalama campus. Brian and I can trace our ancestry and our genealogy back to before the arrival of Captain Cook. And so this school is predominantly for children who can trace their genealogy back, so that it gives them that education that helps to make a step forward in society.
From 9th grade till my senior year, almost every morning. I brought the ball. I would sometimes kick the ball up against the gym wall by myself. It was hard at first to consistently make that choice to say, all right, I'm gonna go down there and I'm gonna work by myself for an hour. But the more I made that decision, the easier and easier it got for me as I went along. And then I got a college scholarship to Gonzaga, got one college scholarship, and I was like, all right, I'm going there. Where's Gonzaga? Right? And I was like, what is this snow on the ground stuff? This is awful. It wasn't until my junior year that I actually got invited down to train with the LA Galaxy. And that's when I was like, oh, maybe I can be a professional soccer player, And my last name's Ching, but I see myself more as a Hawaiian than anything else because I grew up here, right? And I went to this school, right? And I'm proud. I got the Hawaiian Islands tattooed on my arm. I got my Hawaiian family name. I made sure my son has his Hawaiian family name, so we carry that on. And I know you guys are all proud to be Hawaiian.
Being from Hawaii, born and raised, we're very prideful people. You act different, you walk different, you talk different.
There's special qualities about Hawaii people, and it's like, we have that mentality, like, we're gonna give everything we have until we can't.
That mentality that we have here that makes Hawaii so special, I think our kids kind of carry that Aloha spirit with them and become like ambassadors of Aloha.
Ohana means family. I feel like a lot of the soccer teams I've been on, it's like a big family.
When it comes to the amount of kids playing or potential kids that can play, India, Indonesia, United States, and China, none of them are in the World Cup, right? None of them have soccer culture. How do you develop that culture in this country? How do you continue its growth, or how do you accelerate its growth from our league already? The kids here have access to soccer a lot more than I ever did growing up. So hopefully we can get see a lot more people coming from, not just Hawaii, but small towns across the country.
Much of life here finds a balance between preservation and progress, where a love of home and a desire for more forces people to the mainland for greater opportunities. In soccer, pioneers like Chingy have charted this course, with Max, Bud, Kenji all leaving the island and coming back to create opportunities for the next wave of young players. This is the spirit of Ohana, where family goes deeper than blood, and where no task is too tall when done together. And maybe it's on us, all of us, to finally realize that a culture rooted in real struggle may just be the spirit behind all of our success. And that Hawaiian soccer is not defined by what it lacks, but rather by what it has.